fly away 体が自由に広がるパノラマ顔を蹴られた地球が怒って火山を爆発させる溶けた氷の中に恐竜がいたら玉乗りしこみたいねチャラヘチャラ何が起きても気分はへのへのかったチャラヘチャラ胸がバチバチするほど騒ぐ元気だなスタッキー空を急降下ジェットコースター落ちてゆくよパニックのその絵景色逆さになると愉快さ山さえお尻に見える悩む時間はないよどこかに潜むびっくりに会いたいからチャラヘチャラ頭から棒の方が夢詰め込めるチャラヘチャラ笑顔ウルトラ Z で今日もあいあいあいあいチャラヘチャラ何が起きても気分はへのへのかったチャラヘチャラ胸がパチパチするほど騒ぐ元気だなスタッキー
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, as you can see, I'm in my super duper form right here. I'm trying my best. Notepad would be the character in Dragon Ball who fights the villain first, only to die immediately while saying something like, "Oh no, look out guys, he's strong." Hey man, I'm doing, yeah, being a Krillin does... I'm okay with being Krillin. Hey man, I was thinking Yamcha tier, but hey, I could try. And Manly immediately is shot and killed, but he is not here. The bullet deftly avoids him. Hey, don't do my guy Krillin so bad. I know. I'm not even Krillin. Like I was assuming Yamcha tier because we all like Yamcha. More like TN. Now, of course, we have someone very special to help us today. Of course, we have Super Saiyan Manly. Fun fact, that is a this was simultaneously very simple, but also incredibly complicated to make because of just some layering issues. It was great. But yes, hello everyone. My name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Today we're going to be working on Ultra Bingstinct. Now, what there? Says a spiritual Latino. Yeah, welcome to Ultra Instinct. Over the past week, we've been working on this. These are all the notes. Also, do you like Lord Grill, my legally distinct villain? Have no fear, Lord Grill is definitely original. He is an OC donut steal. Do not steal him. It's Grill with an E, thank you very much. Grille. He's Lord Grill. Sometimes pronounced Grille in the Latino dub. But, where's his brother Ovyn? Grillin'. Lord Grille. Yeah, Lord Grille, you know. Of course, he's a legally distinct version. I keep going back and forth on what the Empire should be named. Currently, it's just the Burning Empire, because the Cold Empire is what it is originally called. It was that or the Oven Empire, but that was a little bit too on the nose. But as we see here, kind of this is the cover. It's not perfect. I'm not 100% on the cover yet. Also, you can get this font for free if you type in Saiyans Sans. Die, brain, die. He looks like a DZ. He looks like every DBC bad guy thrown into a blender. Yes, good. And his, yeah, again, like we're being very creative here. We're trying to be very creative with our naming scheme, and of course, I talk about Dragon Ball a little bit. Kind of the idea, like one of the big things about Dragon Ball, I think this is very important for anyone, is Dragon Ball is kind of a universal franchise. I think only One Piece can really claim the. I think there's a few franchises out there that are just universal, that everyone can kind of get behind. Like, you get, like, Mario and Luigi. Everyone can get behind Mario, because Mario is fun. It's a very simple thing. The Disney stuff. Love it or hate it, I think a lot of people can always get behind those classic Disney cartoons, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy, and all that. I think people really get behind it. Some franchises are just universal and people just like it. Throughout my entire life, I've encountered numerous people who say Dragon Ball is the greatest thing ever. And Dragon Ball is really amazing and they really love it, and it's multiple different people have all claimed this. I've said this for older people, younger people, because Dragon Ball is 35 years old. Yes, Dragon Ball is officially going to be 35 years old. Thank you very much, Yoshikage Adam, for following. Thank you. And I think one of those things with Dragon Ball being as universally appealing as it is. Code 35. Yeah. I think it's one of those things that, as universally appealing as it is just because it's fun, it's funny, its characters are endearing. So two things. Are you talking about your love of DBZ? Yeah, we're kind of talking about, I'm just kind of talking about Dragon Ball in general. Like, just because talking about Dragon Ball is important, kind of as the basis of what Ultra Instinct is. And I kind of talk about the issue of really even adapting Dragon Ball into a tabletop game. Because there have been attempts, and each of those attempts are debatable at best sometimes. You kind of have the old, let me see, way back in yesteryear, you have the Artalsorian anime adventure game of Dragon Ball Z. Yes. It's Artalsorian, the fucking dude who made the fucking dude who made Cyberpunk got the rights to make a DBZ tabletop game. Of course, we also have Dragon Ball Z RPG Paper Attack. I don't know what this is. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what this is. This looks like to be a... This is a paper attack? What? I've never actually seen this before. Yeah, RPG paper attack. Yep, here it is. From 5 years ago. You wanna play the... Oh, that's not a good site. Yeah, a lot of these games exist and then they stopped existing. There's a handful of these DBZ games that have come out. Some of them don't usually do anything. And a lot of BRB gonna kill my fucking hell, man. I'm assuming like, huh, Grillin is a bad DBZ name. But yeah, Grillin. But then I remembered they literally had dudes named Freezer and Cooler in the fucking story. Goku and his worst enemy, Barbecue. Yeah, no, he's a mega weeb. The problem with the Artel story in DBZ game is that it is a game that requires hundreds, if not thousands, of dice to function. It kind of did the big thing I kind of talked about here, which is a scaling issue. Yeah, it didn't scale well. Yeah, there could be only one once another all DBZ game. Yeah, like, that's kind of the fascinating thing with it. And I've encountered a couple of them which were like, well, we needed, hundreds of dice at a time, the blast radius of individual key blasts. There's a couple narrative games I found, not many of them, which was like, oh, it doesn't matter if you have power level 80 or power level 80 octillion. It's just functionally the same. Very, I think there was a lasers and feelings hack of it. It's kind of shit like that. And then I talk about, like, just Dragon Ball in general. Because, like, there's a weird thing when it comes to Dragon Ball. Because when you say Dragon Ball, there's a lot of people who just think of Z. But, like, this is... I would say it's probably the most popular of them, but it's really not the only variety of it. Like, you have the original Dragon Ball. Remember when Yamcha was relevant? Yeah, the original Dragon Ball with Goku when he was a kid, and, with Krillin and Bulma and all that. Really, by the time we hit, like, DBS, like, Dragon Ball Super is... it's always weird with Super, because I always hear people talk about Super like it's either the greatest thing of all time or garbage. There is really no in between with it. I actually quite like Super. I think it's a good it's a fun continuation. It's fun. It doesn't need to be great. It needs to be fun though, and that's, I think, arguably all you need to do. That, and it's impossible to not be hyped during some of the shit that goes on, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. Let's see. Totally manageable. What about GT? What? Never have love for Kai. I think the problem with Kai, like, the issue with Kai is that it's nobody's first Dragon Ball. I think that's the thing you have to remember with Kai. It is not your first Dragon Ball. And I think everyone always has strong feelings about the first time they watch something like it. Well, I love Dragon Ball Z because I watched it on, I watched it on Toonami. Remember Toonami? Are you ready to feel ancient? Do you feel that age? Do you feel age coming to kill you as you wither away into dust? Yeah, you watched it on there when you were a kid, and the god-awful dub, but it wasn't god-awful then. It was amazing. It was the greatest thing ever. This man has shot and killed me twice. But then you get things like, there are people who have probably... Yeah, I think that was the thing with Kai. It was just like, the original had a lot of filler. And I think a lot of people, I think they knew that, but that was kind of a time when the scheduling was a little bit different. How these shows were made were different. See, now you get things like now you have Dragon Ball Super, obviously. Dragon Ball Super is, I would say, a lot more concise, but again, it's a lot more fun. It is fun, TM. Not as much like, oh man, this is super serious. No, you get Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. Goku has 25 bajillion, quadrillion, sextillion power level, and he can fist fight everyone. It's like, okay, it looks fun. It doesn't really matter. It's as fun to look at, and it's fun to watch people get the shit beat out of them because it's the god of destruction and shit like that. Sextillion. Yes, sextillion. That is his current power level. At his full height, he has like 18 sextillion. I was like, that's dumb, but here we are. I believe we also have Dragon Ball Superhero. Yeah, this is Dragon Ball Superhero, which is a little odd because it's like 3D. And this one's like way more aimed at kids, I think. Because it features Pan a lot. I've seen some clips of it. It's 3D, but it looks half decent. I think it looks decent anyway. But yeah, we've hit the point with Dragon Ball that Dragon Ball can kind of do anything. And like, this is what I've been seeing recently, by the way. Like, this is the shit we've hit with Dragon Ball. At full power. Yeah, sex. Poor Chi-Chi. Yeah, it's... Goku can sell us anything at this point. Goku is selling us Reese's Puffs, otherwise known as Goku Puffs. Goku can sell us fucking anything, and we will buy it, because he's just such a universal figure. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's Dragon Ball The Breakers. Oh yeah, now I think Dragon Ball The Breakers. Yeah, man. Remember when they made a Dragon Ball Z Dead by Daylight game? I remember. And it's the fact that it's still going. The fact that Dragon Ball The Breakers is still going. And I saw actual gameplay of Dragon Ball The Breakers. And I thought I was having a schizophrenic meltdown. I thought I had gone insane. Because this shit ain't real, this shit ain't real, kings. This isn't real. This is a prolonged shit post that we all must now accept. But yeah, this is a game that also exists. I know everyone's getting really hyped for Sparking Zero, which if you haven't seen some of the clips for this shit, it looks amazing. I can't wait for Jesus to get modded in. That's the only thing I really care about. When Jesus gets modded into Sparking Zero, I know we have peaked. You know, when we get the Latino version. But yeah, no, Dragon Ball is, yeah, isn't Sparking Zero modern Budokai Tenkaichi? Yes. As villagers get a button that destroys a fourth of the map. Follow up to Dead Zone movie. I think it was called Blackwater Mist. Garlic Jr. comes back, throws whole world size from Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo. You're gonna make techniques. Make one of the techniques key control, because a lot of basic concepts like Howl and the Dragon Ball series go cool using some of the techniques along with the other Z fighters. Oh yeah, I've kind of got an idea of how I want to do the key techniques. They're a little bit odd. But yeah, Sparking Zero is effectively Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Not the mod Budokai Tenkaichi 4, because I don't think people quite understand. There's a shit ton of mods for Budokai Tenkaichi, which adds such popular characters from the Dragon Ball series, such as Thomas the Tank Engine, Piccolo, but Piccolo is black now, and of course my favorite, Jesus Christ, as he fights Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku. Again, we may not like it, but when Jesus Christ shows up at full power, we know we've won. It's truly impressive. Okay. But yeah, currently the name is still pending. Currently, we have the Carsadians. Carne asada, if you must know. The Carsadians are I can't believe they're not Saiyans. And for those curious, I know because some people are, this is a font called Saiyan Sans, spelled exactly the way you think it is. This is Saiyan Sans. It actually works pretty well. I've been using it for a lot of things. I am, however, using for a majority of the book for headings is going to be Big Shoulders display. No, nominally the Big Shoulders black version, and our body font is going to be Bar. I think this is a pretty decent way. I might have to fix things. Barlow always gets a little bit weird when it comes to spacing, but we can make it work. So let's get to it. So, top class warrior. How do I want to start this game? I'm always very bad at starting these. That is the hardest part, I think, for any of these games. The hardest part is writing this shit. The first section you need to write is always the hardest. So, alright, so let's do this. So, Ultra Instinct. Ultra Instinct is a role-playing game. Make sure the Carsadian. Let's see. Ultra Instinct role-playing is a role-playing game about the struggles of the Carsadians. Under the thrall. Oh, didn't mean to hit that button. Under the thrall. In thrall. Barbaric space were in thrall to the malevolent Ovyn, malevolent burning empire. To the malevolent burning empire in its seemingly endless war against the Free Planet against the Free Planet Alliance. The Carsadians are at best backward savages. Who Let's see. Approach most problems with a fist and approach most problems with a fist. Deep inside of them lies a burning soul of. Let's see. Deep inside them lies a burning soul of independence and raw power, potential to topple empire. To topple any foe, and destroy any foe and conquer planet, conquer planets, or even destroy empires. As a warrior of the Carsadians, as a warrior of the Carsadians, they are tasked as warriors. Let's see, as warriors of the Carsadians, they are tasked with control of the emperor and his children. But as the burning emperor, as the Emperor, as the infernal emperor. God, what would be a good Ovyn. But as the infernal emperor Ovyn. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. But as the infernal emperor Ovyn's life comes to a close, change is rapidly approaching. Lord Grill seeks to claim the throne. He seeks to claim the throne. What would be a as a sister, Princess Broylin, powered by ultra violence. All while the Carsadians, let's see, are on. Let's see. Oh well, Broylin. What's supposed to? Toast to, I like it. We're using a toast to. Toast to is attempting to seize power by ultra violence. All of the Carsadians are on the brink of total war. Brink of total war as the different Let's see. All while the Carsadians are on the brink of total war as their own king has died on the battlefield without issue. The warriors are in the even worse. Forces behind. Let's see. Conspire. Force behind the scenes conspire to. Let's see. Forces behind the scenes conspire to. And the Carsadians with it. Warriors are in the middle. Are in the middle of. Let's see. Are in the middle of this. Let's see. Middle of this tumultuous. Warriors are in the middle of this tumultuous period. Well, they may not be privy to the they may not be privy to the details. Soon these brave. They're dragged into. Let's. Well. May not be privy to the details. Soon they will be dragged into it. The last hoped for. Let's see. Well, soon they will be dragged into it as pawns, or the last hope for a better future. Bum bum bum. Do a group of players or PL will take the role of these warriors on the precipice of the what would be Precipice. Mm. Mm. Let's see. The group players or PL will take the role of these warriors on the dawn of their new destiny. Mm. 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 Let's see. One of the PL will. What would be of one of the great grand Kai. One of the PL will take the role of one of the great grand Kai's narrators. One of a host of recorders of the destinies. One of the PL will take the role of one of the great grand Kai's narrators, one of the host of recorders of events of the universe and beyond. They will record the events. They will record the events and later dictate the story. Dictate the story to the great grand Kai. Let's see. They will record the events and later dictate the story to the great grand Kai, narrating the events of the. Let's see. They'll record the events and later dictate the story to the great grand Kai. Narrating the events of the situation. As well as the challenges. And their blazing final moments. In their blazing final moments. Now, so we need to insert horizontal line. A Kai beast. A Kai blast. Pretty much. Crisp. Yeah, you're all seeing how terrible we can get these names. However, now, for those who aren't Spanish, the Carsadians are all going to be meat puns. So So I want you all, when you're thinking of things, I want you to start thinking of horrible meat puns. Because we're going to need a lot of terrible, terrible meat puns to make this game work properly. I'm ready for them, and it's going to be awful. But you know what I'll even do? Second, I'm gonna get my little notebook out. Yes, I have my little notebook. I'm gonna get my pen out. Oh no, it's pepperoni. There we go. We could use pepperoni. Hey, Oni works. Oh man, it's the most dangerous Carsadian ever. Pepperoni. We're all like sausage, like sage of so. Like sausage. I like that. Sausage. I like sausage. Beef. No, we need to put another letter in beef. That's the thing. We'll replace beef with an A. It'll be B-E-A-F. Beef. You know, beef. It's pronounced the exact same. Must be big tip. Chicken. Pepper chicken. Again, you're seeing where we can make horrible things going on, but we can make some horrible things happen here. But first, let's get the basics done. To assist the great grand Kai's narrator. This is the great grand Kai's narrator. Each of the warriors will need. Cubic. Let's see. Since the great grand Kai's narrator, each of the warriors will need cubic randomization engines, though most of the universe calls them dice. Each warrior will need. Each warrior will need 10 to 15 6-sided dice. 10 to 15 6-sided dice, though more will. Though more may be needed. Actually, after the warriors develop themselves further. Let's see. After the warriors develop themselves further, they will need. Amount of d8s of 8-sided die. 8-sided die, 10-sided die, and 12-sided die. 12, 10, 8, d6. This is the great grand. So what we can do, we can put that here. We'll put an image right here. Whenever the warriors are not in combat, a rare sight for many Carsadians. Carsadians, let's see. Whenever the warriors are not in combat, a rare sight for many Carsadians, they will be. Let's see. Whenever the warrior not in combat, a rare sight for many, and are. They will need to make a test. They will take. Let me see. Let me read my notes. Hello, Grill. This is modifiers. Their kids end up Italians. Neither of them are human. Yeah, no, it's like we could do. when you're making a Carsadian, please make the worst puns possible. Let's see. They will take. Let's see. They will take 2d. They will take 2d6 and add their. And add the appropriate attribute modifier to. And to the let's see, attribute modifier. If they manage to beat the target number, let's see. Check something real fast because I just saw something flash that shouldn't flash. If they fail, they suffer the consequences of their poor performance. But they may try again. They may try again. They may try again, but with only 1d6. But they may try again. If they may manage to beat or blow up the problem they're dealing with. So we want to do table. We're going to make a table here. Target number, our difficulty. So we want to do simple. Now, the numbers here are going to be a little bit weird because we can possibly have our range currently for our attributes are going to be from 10 to 2 with an average about in the middle of about 8. So we're not really going, we can bump up the difficulty a little bit higher than we would normally think we should. So if we're dealing with like a simple, I'm thinking like 8. Like, an 8 is, you will reason, like, unless you are really, actually no, we can make that like a 10. And if we bump it up by 4 each time. So if we want to do, if we're taking our numbers here real fast. Five, 5, 3, 3, 1, 1. 1. That would be, for our lowest would be 6, 4, 8, 6, 4, 10, 8. So we're aiming for about 6. So that simple is, okay, that's... Look, an imposter Carsadian named Tofu, but backstabs our heroes. I can't believe I can't believe he cast Final Flash on Tofu. What could have happened? Gluten. Again, I want you all to get in the mindset that you are a bunch of stupid space barbarians. You are not good at your job. You are probably the least competent people to be doing these things. And it's like, yeah, what's your what's your name? Ah, yes, it's oh no, there's a problem. Whose fault is it? It's probably Tofu's. Oh no, Tofu, what do we do? Mm. 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 Let's see. Yeah, whenever you doubt, you can add your current power level to it instead. So what we need to do is mm, 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 mm. Actually, we want to do whenever a situation occurs. Actually, no. Frequently, the warriors will find themselves in opposed tests. This is when two or more individuals. This is when an active other force is fighting against the warrior. But let's see. It was when an active other force is fighting against the warrior to prevent their success. Both sides will roll 2d6. Roll 2d6 and add the appropriate modifier. Both sides will roll 2d6 and add the appropriate modifier. Whoever scores the highest will be victorious. Let's see. Whoever scores the highest will be victorious. Rerolls. With the penalty, 6. with the penalty applied. Effectively, you can re-roll any roll technically twice, except your second one's going to be significantly worse. You're going to lose 6, which if you failed on a 2d6, you're probably not going to succeed with a 1d6. However, can. If the if the let's see, if there is a tie, let's see, if there is a tie, there we go. That's one of their gimmicks. They always win ties. If you are a Carsadian, you will win ties. If you're both Carsadian though, you will have to deal with that problem. What we're going to do is we're going to add this. Bum bum bum. Let's do some shenanigans. It's gonna be a little bit weird. We're gonna put that right here. We're going to put E right E. You right here. Delete the table, and then we do let's see what I want to do. How do I want to do this? I want to attribute. So actually, we want to do our opposition bonus weak 3 plus 3. Weak. Let's use the start with the target is if the position. There we go. Doesn't have attributes, or it's a force of nature number. There we go. We need to forge a river, and we need to get across the river really easily, but we're trying to be stealthy. We would be fighting an opposition here. Nah, well, maybe a river isn't a really good idea because we can fly. But you get the idea. It's more like, hey, we need to fly through a difficult storm or whatever. Since we're flying through a difficult storm, we are going to be rolling these. We would be rolling in opposition for the storm. Hey, I've got dinner going right now. I'm gonna chow down after we get this section done. Let's see. So, first things first. What do we need to do? So I think we need. Boon and Bane. Let's see. So we need to have our little advantages. So yeah. Addition number of tokens. In addition to number of tokens may be appropriate as well, though these may be nice. So Boon and Bane. These are going to be our advantage, disadvantage system. Pretty easy stuff to work with. Easy enough to understand. So we're going to then add in exhaustion. Okay, so first things first. Adding 2. What would be? Oh, so you have more inspirations for characters. Crap, I need a new villain. Oh my. Man, if you want to have a fucking, villain repertoire, all you have to do is go to Arby's at this point. Oh no, everyone, look, it's Euro. It's Gyro and his coterie of condiments. Oh god. Look, everyone, it's Wagyu. Empanada, it's genius. Sorry, boys. Sorry, session's gonna be a little long today. I need a villain. Don't worry, that's why I ordered cheap pizza. Oh no, I'm not my brother Gyro. I'm his twin brother Euro. Yeah, ordering pizza is just an excuse to buy time for enemies. Oh no, Emperor Pepperoni. Boon, Bane, and comedy. Quite fallible, in fact. Boons and Banes represent. Let's see, whenever a warrior has an advantage during a test, they will add an extra d6. They will add an extra d6 to the... let's see, advantages and advantages. Let's see. That means that in the best situations, a real top class warrior may be rolling 5d6. Mm. 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 Yeah, they may maybe relying purely on their attributes. It's like, oh, we only have 2d6. Well, why would you ever want to, you know, what's that? The idea behind this giving 2d6 is this, like, hey, if you get 3 bonuses, you have 3, you know, problem. 3 if you have 3 disadvantages. 3 advantages, 3 disadvantages, you would have 0. If you have 3 disadvantages, get 2 advantages, you still have a negative 1d6. Kind of like -3, -2, you know, 2 or 3 disadvantages is still pretty bad. It's the same thing effectively, but it's just harder to get out. It's harder to pull yourself out of 3. There is comedy, and there is comedy moments. Some things are just Mm. Well, some things are just goofy or demand a quick laugh from the great grand Kai and the universal will itself. Let's see. Comedy situation. Remove all boons and banes from a. Mm. 1d6 minus 1d6. Have the warrior roll 1d6 minus 1d6. Let's see, catastrophic successes and failures are possible with this, but never, but it will never be. There we go. Yeah, 1d6 time, you know, 1d6 minus 1d6. Effectively, what you would end up rolling. So, for example, let's say we have an attribute of 6. Here's our comedy moment. So we're gonna roll my first die here. I rolled a 3, and I rolled a 2. So I would have, with a grand total of all of that, would be a 10. If I have a 6, I would have rolled a 6. On the other hand, let's see if I can roll something really funny here. I rolled a 5 success and a 2 there. 3 times I would have an 18 instead. You can roll catastrophically well if, for example, let's say I rolled a 6 and a 1. I would end up with 30. I would have been able to, with just a plus 2d6 plus 6, I would have gotten a legendary success. On the other hand, if you roll for example, a 1 and then a 6, you would have a negative 30. You would have failed horribly, 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 and it would have been hilarious for everyone involved. I've lost my chat, by the way. If anyone's watching this later on, I have lost the chat to food puns. They are no longer here. They are... they have entered a new comedy dimension. God, why are people put... Duncan the Great were severed. Duncan grant you your greatest desire. There we go. Need to do... Strain a Carsadian attempt and fail at actions they are attempting. They get in short Saiyans get frustrated easily and attempt to and are encouraged actively to seek the most direct route possible. In most situations, seek the most direct route possible in most situations. Should they or just get really and useless at more let's see, should they suffer from too much exhaustion, they'll either begin raging or just get tired and useless at more complex tasks. Let's see. There we go. Like, that is literally all the exhaustion mechanic is. It is, you get frustrated anytime you fail at things. The more you fail, the more things go wrong. You don't want that. So what should you do? Correct. Get mad and punch the problem to death. Pull my devil trigger. Bang, bang, bang. Yeah, it's you honestly, Spartan, there you're calling out exactly what it would be like. Is you are saying, no, I don't want to do this. This is getting annoying. I'm being frustrated. I'm being mad. So what do we? It's one of those situations. Imagine you have zoomed into you have zoomed into the complex and you are sitting there and you're like, okay, you need to hack into this computer. You need to stop this thing from going off. And you look at it and the GM's like looks at you and being like, okay, there's a few ways you can do this. What do you want to do? Well, I'm going to use my senses and try to hit the right button. Be like, okay, you could use half your senses. Half your senses rounded down. And you look at it, you're like, I have a senses of 5 then. And you look at it for a second, you're like, okay. You can, the question there should always be, the question should be, do I trust myself to attempt to succeed at this? Or do I throw an energy blast at it and leave? Do I drive my fist through the problem and leave? When in doubt, just blow it up. Oh no, there's a problem. What do I do? Blow it the fuck up. Oh no, there's an issue. How do I solve it? Punch it to death. This person is disagreeing with me. And I don't like this person disagreeing with me. What do I do? Beat them up. Just keep swinging. Doesn't matter. Keep punching them to death. This person is weaker than you. Get annoyed at them. The Frieza method. Exactly. And that should be kind of like your... What I would want to encourage is that everyone has the very basic flow chart. The very basic Carsadian, flow chart should be problem. Can I solve it? Break it? And you being just like, and it's like, yes. Then you should roll. No. Go back to breaking it. It's just like, this is the most basic flow chart of most problems. Hey, there's a problem. I need to solve something. Can I solve it? Maybe. All right, let's roll. Hey, can I solve it? No. Break it. Should I just break it? Break it. It's a very... just follow the flow chart. You will be a happy person. But let's do format real fast. So, Ultra Instinct. Focus on a rapid descent into chaos for the warriors and the Carsadian people. And Carsadian people in general. Every every episode is divided into different scenes. Others, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Season. The season is the entirety of the number of. Actually, this is. We're gonna go to pre-cure real fast. Yes, we're gonna go to pretty-cure here real fast. Even episodes and scenes. Let's see. Where did I put my... What happened to send to the chaos of the warrior and the Carsadian people in general? And the Carsadian people, every episode is divided into scenes which highlight different warriors and situations. Some may be calm, others may be violent. Season is entire. Ultra Instinct is not a game. That is not a. This kind of game that hits the ground running. Warriors should develop quickly. Let's see. Warriors should develop quickly while building an equal amount of problems. Every scene, and episode, they are. Break this. Let's see. Ultra Instinct kind of game that hits the ground running. Warriors should develop quickly while building an equal amount of problems every scene and episode they take part in. Not a game for long drawn out narratives or complex villains. Race with all might. There we go. This is kind of just, I just kind of want to put this here a little bit, being like, I want to give people an idea. Like, when it comes to like fighting a bunch of people at once, I was kind of, there's a couple ideas that I was floating around. One option is just squads. There's just a number of squads that have like a raw amount of HP of you literally just saying, oh, I swing in there and start doing withering damage. I start doing, you know, it's any kind of damage I'm doing. I'm actually killing someone. I am zooming in, you know, it's, you know, I zoom in, I punch someone, they explode. I throw an energy blast at another person. Yeah, this is the kind of game where you kind of need that you hit the ground running and you're trying to figure out what the ending is going to be. And that's kind of the grand conclusion should feel like that final moment with Bardock. This is ultimately the Bardock simulator. It's you, you're in the middle of this, you are in the middle of everything, you are bleeding to death, you are not going to make it, but you can spite the Emperor of the Galaxy one last moment, you could spit on him one last moment, and go down swinging. But that's one of the things I want to kind of emphasize in the earlier bit, is like, you don't know what the ending's going to be. And I'm willing to provide a bunch of endings there. And at the end of the game, a little bit, it's going to talk about all the endings, but it's going to be like, make your own ending if you want. These are just examples. All that you know is that in 6 episodes, in 7 episodes, or even 2 episodes, or 3 episodes, something is going to happen. The end of the campaign will occur in 5 episodes. And it's kind of that moment where it's like, okay, what is it? In that first episode, you might be introduced to it. Oh, hey, because if we really think, the opening of the Bardock movie is Bardock gets his team killed. And it's him trying to figure out, oh no, what the hell's going on? I need to get back to the planet's a lot. I need to get back to Planet Vegeta. And he doesn't know. That's the problem. And that's kind of the situation. We hit the ground running. Bardock's trying to figure out what's going on. He wants to save his family, but he kind of knows he can't. And he knows that this is it. And at the end, he fucking dies. If the GM gives you too many episodes, 3 of those episodes are going to be literally power-up episodes. And it's like, that's going to be one thing with kind of the format of this when we get to it, is I want you to take part in combat. Because every combat, you're going to get experience points out of. You want to know how I know you're going to get experience points out of it? Because you're going to get hit by something. And every piece of damage you take is going to be immediately transferred into potential. The more you get hurt, the more XP you get, the more stats you buy, the better you get at fighting. Hence why I have my little thing over here, which is the idea of Zenkai boosting. And that's kind of the bigger idea is, hey, you are Zenkai boosting, you are the more powerful, the closer to death we get, the more powerful we become. And I'm going to be emphasizing that through the mechanics. Even down to things like, hey, when you're at critical condition, when you are at 25% of your total HP, you are in critical, but you get ki way faster. And you should spend a lot less action points, effectively, getting more ki to use bigger attacks. Because ki is going to be used to trigger abilities, trigger attacks, or anything like that. That's the end goal. And it's kind of like we're fighting, and go fast, go hard, and maybe make it out. Which is going to be kind of the idea of hitting your three form changes. Which is Rage Boost is, hey, you're in combat, you're at the edge, you're incredibly mad at the situation, something bad has happened, you can Rage Boost. If you have max exhaustion and you enter combat, you're probably going to Rage Boost. Instead of getting D6s, you get D8s. The problem is, during Rage Boosting, you're kind of a fucking idiot, and you're just gonna start swinging. You have to attack every turn, and your instinct is 0, because during Rage, they know where you're going. Isn't because you're there, because you're fucking mad. Then we have the Wukong Burst, which name might change. But the idea of the Wukong Burst is like, this is your Kaioken kind of thing. You go Kaioken, 10 or whatever, and you Wukong Burst. You replace all your D6s with D10s, you get a way more powerful, you get a way better at doing things. But the problem is, at the end of the fight, you go unconscious. You fucking fall over. And GM rolls a dice being like, okay, how long are you out? Congratulations, you're out for 2 days. You're just completely unconscious for 2 days. That's why it's kind of a, I should Wukong Burst at good, at opportunities, but you might roll something really badly and you're out for a week. And that should be something interesting. The other characters are getting some time to do things. Your Akuma Burst, there's a couple ideas here. We might change them when we get to it. And kind of that special one, which is, I'm going to reserve for kind of the end, which is going to be Death Rage. You're in critical condition, this is kind of the end, you are dying. You say, hey, nope, it's kind of like in Tenra Bancho Zero. You've marked your fatal wound. You're not going to make it out of here. You know that. You've embraced that fact. You've said, nope, I am going to die this fight. I have taken mortal wounds. I am ready to die. And I am going to. And then you enter Death Rage. Again, name pending. During this time, all your d6s become d12s. So yeah, roll 11 d12 and attempt to blow people out of the sky. And yeah, how much damage do you do? Oh, you know what I do, 6 d12 damage or 12 d12 damage. Just as you are fighting against something that you know you're going to die. No matter what the ending is, you might win, you might lose. You're going to fall over at the end, and your heart will stop. You have accepted that you're not going to make this out of here alive. And that should be kind of the dramatic end point of it is, hey, all of us are at our we're on our last knees. We've been getting overwhelmed this entire time. We've all triggered this thing. We've all accepted that we're not going to make it out. But one guy in the back didn't trigger it. And at the very end, everyone's died, and he stands up, like, we won, yay, but all my friends are dead. And that should be a tragic moment. That should feel like you should get really sad. It'd be a dramatic conclusion to a campaign. We won, but at what cost? Centipede! Generally speaking, there's going to be one way to heal consistently. Well, technically there's two ways to heal consistently. The first way is going to be, you are going to heal by virtue of you're going to heal by virtue of at the end of a fight, or when you have time to rest, you're going to recover all of your HP. Yeah, it's the healing pods. It is assumed that as long as you end a fight, as long as you have at least a night to rest, you will heal fully. The other one is, I was going to put in the idea of key healing, but it's kind of like how I was doing the, and it's kind of like the idea of the healing, kind of like key healing is, depending on what rank you buy it, I'll get into how key powers are probably going to end up working, is the more powerful your key healing is, the more active you are able to do things. Hey, my key healing is 1. I effectively recover a little bit of health by just virtue of standing around doing nothing. Every scene, rather than having to take a scene to rest. Every one's that you take a second to rest. Every scene that you're in, you might still be injured, you're not resting, but you're going to recover a little bit of HP. Second tier is, you may actively burn your key in a fight to heal yourself. The problem is, you do not get experience points for the health. You get experience points based on the health you have at the end of the fight. You can heal up to full, but you might not get anything. You might not, because you've been healing the entire time. Which the final one would be, you can do remote healing. On the other, the big thing here is, if you are going down the track of, I want to use my key to heal people, I want to be a little bit more supporty in that regard, you are substituting, hey, I have the ability to fire, you are subbing out your ability to Kamehameha for the ability to make sure someone gets less experience points. That's kind of the trade-off there. We can survive longer. In exchange, I don't get to do a big bang attack. Because how I was thinking about doing a lot of the key stuff is pretty simple. Effectively, you're going to be building key. Anytime you do anything, you will build key. Well, not everything. Anytime you charge, anyway. These key, you're not going to get too much of it, is you can spend it to do things. These are where I said, like, the tokens could be proved useful. So it's like, okay, I've built up a bunch of key. Let's say I have the 7 key right here. I built it up, like, oh, I'm super tough. You can burn it to be like, I want to enhance my melee attack. I want to do more damage. Hey, I want to add I want to auto move. I want to do something. You could burn ki to enhance your actions, or you can burn ki to do your key maneuvers. Hey, I want to do a ranged attack. Yeah, okay, what's your ranged attack? Ki blasts. You have to spend ki, and now you have ki blasts with around you. Or rata, and then they explode. You want to do big bang attack? You spend ki to do it. You want to, do Nappa's fucking beam or whatever? You spend ki to do it. The big thing is, this is the catch, you could say, is that you can only have a number of ki powers equal to one of your stats. I don't quite know how I want to calculate it yet, but you can have pretty much a number of points that you can say, hey, let's say I have 10 ki power points or whatever. You might say, hey, I want to take a beam. You're like, hey, I want to take a beam ability, but I want to add, it's a beam that does a shit ton of damage. But that's going to take up a lot of points you have. Or it's like, oh, well, I want ki healing. I want to be able to instant transmission. I want to do all these other things. That's going to take up its own amount of points. So it's kind of the idea of yeah, you can develop yourself pretty quickly. You can have as many powers as you want. On the other hand, you can have as many powers as you want as long as you can afford it. Fill in the slots more than anything. Big question, how do I posing dramatic, especially with 4 people? Currently, if you stand proud in my very detailed map over here, you don't have to pay. Yeah, the gimmick is you do not have to pay. Kind of posing dramatically is you standing there saying hee hee hoo hoo ha ha, I'd win. Especially if you stay, I'm going to stand, hee hee hoo hoo ha ha, I'd win. And then the other person has to make a call of, oh, do I try to fly away? Do I try to hover? How do I want to fight this person? Oh no, and be like, oh, well, I'm just going to kill you. I have the advantage already. You have to come to me, Kamehame. All right. I think the basics are here. It's not, we didn't get too much done, relatively speaking, but welcome to always the first episode of these things. What I'm going to do is this. So, what do we need to do roughly? Well, 1, lore. We need to get the lore done. That's just going to take time. That's just something we have to do. We have to do warrior creation. Warrior creation is going to be attributes. It's going to be, I decided against skills. I'm okay with not having skills. I think for the nature of this game, that is not a bad thing. But we're going to have to do derived attributes. Then we're going to do our one dramatic thing. Now, the one dramatic thing, and we'll steal this a little bit from 13th Age, because I like it 13th Age, is, hey, this is something that your character is special about. This is your dramatic thing. Hey, I've got a family that I care about. I am the prince of all, I am the prince of all Carsadians. I am, I'm a spy for for King Ovyn. It's kind of like, here's a dramatic thing that's going to influence events. For better or for worse. Yeah, and I think that should help with people getting invested with the idea of this is something very early. That it's like, hey, I am I'm a top class warrior. I'm like, oh, hey, I'm an old warrior. My skills have degenerated over time because I'm just fucking old. And I know that I am old. And now because I know that I am incredibly old, This is kind of my last hurrah, and I gotta show these youngins what's going on. Or you could be like, hey, I'm a prodigy. I'm like 3, 4 years younger than everyone else. Like, I am a kid in society. However, I am a prodigy. I am up. I've qualified for being a warrior already, even though I'm way younger than I should be. That's something dramatic. That's something of a problem because people are going to think they can exploit you. If you're really old, they might want to take you out. It kind of depends on the situation. There's a lot of things going on with your dramatic things that, again, hit the ground running. Exploit them just as much as play into them. I might make it more mechanical, I might not. It really depends on the situation. Outside of that, really, there isn't too much when it comes to... actually, I guess we could do... when it comes to our key powers, and then we do... Then really after warrior creation, we launch straight into... actually, what we can do is we can do... dramatic scenes, combat scenes... Dramatic scenes are going to be pretty much the everything else. We're going to talk about how exhaustion works and, you know, how things like that, kind of the structure of a session. Then we move into the combat scenes. Once combat scenes, combat's going to be our very large one. Combat's going to take a while. I know it's going to take a while because there's just a lot of moving parts there. Then we're going to then move on to... There we go. Really, this is... I don't think this game is going to be very long. Let me explain why. So, this game really is all about doing two things. This is a very focused game. Focused games don't need to be too long. I respect that. I know that this is one of those things like we're just playing this to be a very to-the-point idea. Combat is going to be the longest. I know that's going to be the longest. That will take 2 days minimum, I think anyway. Or it's going to be a notepad must die. I know that. You know that. We all know that. I've accepted this situation in my life. When it comes down to it, though, I'm estimating this will probably be about 60, 50 pages. And I'm okay with that. Honestly, that might even be a little bit too much. Because the main thing I want to do is I want to play with this system. I want to play with the Contact's initiative system because I think Contact's really interesting. And I want to try the velocity map system. Honest to God, this is all I want to do with this game. And I even told the patrons when they were voting on this, this is literally just a justification to try out this combat system. There is nothing more behind this. If it works, you are going a bit nuclear. I'm nuclear! Also, by the way, so this Saturday you are moving out then. The plan is, let me detail the plan for everyone. The plan is that next week is when I officially move in. That's the thing. When I officially move into my new apartment. And what I need to do is I need to hand the money to my new landlord. He's been very back and forth with me about things. He's a little bit odd in that regard. I like him. He's not a bad landlord. He's just very old-fashioned. I need to hand him that money. I need to get the keys. If things go according to plan, I will be able to move in on Saturday. Or at least get all my shit up there on Saturday. There might be a day where I've come to the conclusion there may be a day where I have to sleep on like a fucking futon or something, like a very jank situation. It's the problem I've been dealing with right now is I want to confirm everything before I start calling the electric company, before I start calling the, different internet providers, because they have a completely different internet provider than I have here right now. They have Verizon. Yes, they have a Verizon fiber over there. Yes, fucking fiber. The internet will be infinitely better. It's just a lot of sitting and waiting, and my mom's like, oh, well, you can have my bed because I'm getting a new bed. And then she's like, well, I don't want to buy my new bed yet. And I'm like, should I bring my bed over there? Should I not bring my bed over there? It's a lot of things happening and a lot of me having to sit there and wait. So ideally, it's not this Saturday I'm moving out. Yeah, sleeping bag on the floor with no power or water. There's power and there's water, but it's just a lot of talking to person A and then making sure, and it's a lot of delaying. It's a lot of sitting down and saying, well, this might happen. Well, this may happen. This will happen tomorrow or next week. And it's been next week a couple of weeks now, and now it's kind of the end game where it's like, fuck. Again, I have kind of worst case scenarios in my head. I know kind of how to deal with most of them. But yeah, no, it's just a lot of maybe if and or but perhaps. There may be a few days next week where no streams or anything. If I get the Verizon guy out there nice and easy, cool, I can make it work. It'll be super simple. If not, it's going to be a little bit more complicated. Kind of the situation. It's a lot of sitting, it's a lot of waiting, and that's the worst part about it. So I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for watching. Godspeed, good luck. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Tomorrow we are going to be... air mattress, you could stuff the closet after you get your actual bed. Again, I don't want to invest in like an air mattress or something and then have her being like, well, here's your brand new bed or whatever. The timing on everything is so tight that it's very like, oh god. Luckily, I'm going to talk to my mom tomorrow. We're going to hammer out a bunch of stuff. And it's just, I need to talk to her being like, this is the date we're doing things. This is how how things are going to happen. And here's how we're going to do it. Bingo, bango, bongo. But bingo, bango, bongo takes time. And it's the latchkey phenomenon. The closer you are to something, the more hectic it gets. And that's really the situation. It is... it's so close that we're so close to it that just sitting and waiting, and it's like, that's all you can do, really. That is all I can do. I can just sit and wait. And it sucks, but that's kind of the welcome to moving. Welcome to moving, everyone. It's amazing. But yeah. No, I've got a few ways to get around things. I have a very old futon that I use as my emergency couch. Here's the secret. I've got my emergency couch futon. What I was going to do, if I can get the keys from him, this week, I was going to move that without my mother knowing, because I'm going to be living upstairs from my mother, effectively. And I was going to move it upstairs and then set it up there. And just have a place that, in case she doesn't want to give me her mattress all of a sudden, I have a place to sleep at least. But it's a lot of that. It's a lot of relying on other people. I don't like relying on other people. But yeah, we'll call it there. Thank you all. I will see you all probably Wednesday if things go according to plan. Tomorrow I'm going to be working on the heroine video. Not heroine, as in a female protagonist. A female hero, you could say. Going to be working on that one. That's going to be a short video. I am okay with that being a short video. I kind of just want to talk about it because it's a weird video to talk about, weird game to kind of muse about. Ooh. My shoulders are getting worse, by the way. It's very fun. Snap your spine immediately. But, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, to give you an idea of, we might have some new viewers here. I just want to make sure that everyone understands. So, that's my back. That's what my back sounds like anytime I roll my shoulders. It's not good. I know that. Everyone else has told me that's not good. But hey, that's the nature of the beast. One thing I should also say is that this may not be a 2-week thing, just because I don't know what the internet's going to look like next week. I'm going to be honest with everyone. I don't know if everything's going to work out according to plan. If it's not, it might be a little bit longer, but there will just be no streams. I'll keep everyone posted on that. Follow the YouTube if you want a little bit better posting on that. Let me think of anything else exciting going on. Nothing. I will kind of talk about more things after Ultra Instinct is done. But thank you all. I am away.